Watch this video for my go-to techniques for the quadricep massage. Okay, let's get into it. To start with, I'm going to show you a few warm-up techniques. So I'm applying my lotion, warming it up. We always start with effleurage. So this one I call reinforced effleurage, working up the quads, pressure on the way up and keeping contact. As you can see, there's no time there. I'm taking my hands off the client. There's a variety of different effleurage techniques that we can use. I could go into a lighter forearm as well. So don't think because I'm using my arm or near my elbow, I'm using too much pressure. So we're just warming up the quads first with effleurage, whether it's forearm or palm. I'm going to move on to some kneading or petrissage. Some crisscross lifting. Nice and slow, and using your palms to lift the tissue up. We're lifting the quads up from the femur. Compression technique, one hand on top of the other. Going straight for the belly of the muscle, sinking down into the tissue and releasing. Move up, sink down and release. This can also be done over towel if you've got a bit too much lotion on. It also feels good this way. So we're pressing in, releasing. Lengthening technique is really effective. For this one, we're going to get our client to have their leg off the side of the couch, keep it extended, and then while I use my fist or an effleurage du poing technique this way, my client is going to, with gravity, allow the leg into flexion. So they're going to be bending their leg. At the same time, I'm going to be working right up to the top of the quads. I'm going to do that maybe 3, 4, 5 times, and again. So as I've got the pressure in the muscle and stretching, the client is also bringing it into a fairly stretched position. You can see I'm working on the vastus lateralis here, get the client to bend their knee. So we're working on the outside of the thigh. It's a slow technique, and up. Going to move round, medialis, vastus medialis, and relax. That's it, bend your knee. I'm going to use a soft tissue release on an area that I found is particularly tight down the middle on the rectus femoris. So if we can remember STR, shorten the muscle, you put a deep lock in and you extend from there. So I'm going to do that here. We go into the similar position as lengthening. Okay, and I'm going to put a lock in as I found the tension right in the center, just above. I can use my thumbs or I can use an elbow. So I need to use enough pressure to put that lock on, and my client now with gravity bends their knee. So we get knee flexion. With STR, I'm going to do another point, mid rectus femoris. I'm going to use my elbow, and my client again is going to flex the knee. I'll use this one so you can see what I'm doing. Put my pressure in, and the client flexes. Slowly. Now my client should be feeling a stretch from where I've placed the lock across here, the lower quads, and even over the knee joint. And then I will do a third one, a little bit lower down here. Again, put that lock on, fix, and get the client to flex, which involves a slight stretch on the quads. So that's soft tissue release, or STR. After your deep techniques, we then need to make sure that the muscle is nice and soothed. So we can go back to our effleurage techniques, petrissage, kneading. Okay, we're just working on that muscle now. It's had a bit of deep work before we go to our final stretch. So I always finish our techniques on the legs with a good MET, and I'll demonstrate how to do that. My client has turned over now, so I'm going to perform a stretch. It's a muscle energy technique on the quadricep. And by this, let's relax for me, I'm going to take my client to what I call the bite point, and it's where they start to feel and where I also start to feel some resistance, which I think is about here. Does my client agree with that? Yes, good. So this is my first point, and I'm going to hold this stretch. It's a passive stretch first for 10 seconds. Now I can also make it slightly easier for me and use my shoulder like so. So that's nice and easy. Hold it for 10. Make sure you are counting for the full amount. And then after 10 seconds, we're going to do an isometric contraction. So my client is going to push their foot into my shoulder, 20% of effort. If you push for me, that's great. So now he's tensing up his quadriceps, using his quads as an isometric contraction. I'm going to count the full 10 seconds. And relax. And when you relax, there's a bit more give. Can you see? I can just go a few more degrees. That's set 1. We're going to repeat that 3 times. So we hold the passive stretch for 10 seconds. Then we press for 10. So the client's pushing into my shoulder. As you can see, it's a really easy position for me to use. I hope you found those techniques useful. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see, whether it's quad massage, more techniques, or any other body part that I haven't covered. But I've got loads of videos, so please watch, subscribe, and tell your friends.